Yeah, this is the fly I'm going to be tying today, another Atlantic salmon fly. It's called the Undertaker. This should be in everyone's box. Very, very good fly. Anyways, we'll get this thing started. I'm using 8/0 uni thread for my thread today. I have a Daiichi 2421 number 6 hook in the vise. Get my thread started here. I usually wind down to about the tip of the hook. And that's where I'll start my tag. The tag on this one is gold tinsel. I use a flat tinsel, size 16, 18, and tie that in, and we're going to flip it over. It's silver on one side and gold on the other, and we'll put the gold out. Well, this fly has 2 butts on it. It has a chartreuse butt as part of it, and a red. I do things a little bit different with the butts than most people, and I run most of my stuff through bobbins just because my hands are so rough and it just tears certain materials apart, like the stretch nylon. It's a little cumbersome to get onto, but it was something that I had to do and a necessity. For me, it was just I was just destroying material like crazy, and the flies didn't look that good. I always flip those tag ends back underneath them as well, or back over top of them, sorry, and that allows the locking in of the butt material, which keeps it from sliding down over the bend of your hook. And that's just the way I do it. There's many ways of doing things, and as you're tying yourself, you'll develop your own kind of techniques to doing it. The rib on this fly is uni-tinsel small gold. Get that into place there. The body of the fly is peacock herl, and I usually put in about 4 or 5 strands of it. Sometimes only 3 if it's a good quality herl. I mean, peacock herl is one of those things that sometimes you get it's really good and there's a lot of fiber on it, and sometimes it's not. So that will dictate on how much that I'll actually end up putting into for the body. The size of the hook as well will dictate that. Get that tied off good. You can run your thread back down through it also as well, which will help to bind it in. Or we do have a rib coming up through this one, which helps too, because the peacock herl will get dry after a while and crack or fish tear it apart, which is usually what happens with this fly. And not that that's a bad thing. That's something we all want to have happen. For the throat on this, I'm just going to use some black slopping. I just pull my slopping up to until the tips are even like that. Then I get the quantity of it that I need for the throat. This fly can be tied, with a collar hackle. It can be tied with a pulled down collar hackle, or it can be tied with just a throat. And I'm just tying it with throat today. We'll get into some of the collar hackles in a later video. I usually bring the very extreme ends of my schlop until it's about midway between the 2 butts, and that's just a proportioning thing I use for myself, so when I'm tying multiple flies I can make them look consistent. We've got some green crystal flash that we're going to put in the wing. I tend to use a lot of this stuff in my flies now. A lot of my customers want it that way, and I like it in my own flies as well. I do have some with and some without, though, always. Now we got a moose hair wing, And this one as well. I mean, the wing can be made of different stuff. I've seen it made up in New Brunswick, use a lot of bear hair. Different places I've seen them use black squirrel tails, you know, moose. I use different hair again for smaller flies. Just ties in, you know, a lot smaller, not bulkier. And measurement on our wing. And we get that tied in place. Excuse me. This is one of these flies that it's a confidence thing for me. I gotta have jungle cock on this. When I was doing a lot of salmon fishing, it just seemed like I couldn't get down through the pool without the. So I'm using a Pro Fisher imitation jungle cock, which is a really neat product. And I'd encourage you to give it a try. This is really cool looking stuff. And my big thumbs, this is going to be a little harder than, but we'll make do. So we get the piece onto the side here. And we'll try to find this other one and get her on this side facing me. And certainly there's been a lot of fish caught without the jungle cock on them as well, so it's, you know, it's an optional thing that, you know, feel free if you want to put it on or you know, or not. I do have them in my box with both, but the ones without never seem to make it on, I guess. So there we have the Undertaker. Every time I tie this fly, I think of Warren Duncan, who I was very fortunate enough to meet and tie some flies with back in Mike's Tackle Shop days. And this is one of Warren's flies that he just tied a lot of. And every time I put a hook in the vise, doesn't matter if I tie 100 of them or I tie 1,000 of them, I always think of Dunk. Anyway, rest in peace, my friend. Take care. Thanks for watching.